Bakersfield expecting to see an increase in tax revenue from Measure In, but the new measure also requires the city council to establish a citizen oversight committee. The Now's Tori Cooper has more on what city officials say you need to know if you want to be part of that committee.
9 people sitting at home right now may soon be helping the Bakersfield City Council make spending decisions.
It's an advisory committee to the City Council pertaining to the public safety and vital services measures that the voters approved in November.
According to the Bakersfield City Manager, Alan Tandy, to apply you must be over 18, a City of Bakersfield resident with a variety of skills and no conflicts of interest.
The qualifications are very broad and open. It cannot be a city employee, it cannot be a city council member. It prescribes that we're looking towards business experience, financial experience, experience in leadership.
Tandy says the advisory committee was created at the request of a number of groups in the community, including the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce, Kern County Taxpayers Association, and the Kern Citizens for Sustainable Government, who say they wanted to ensure the voice of the people was heard before $50 million was spent on public safety and vital city services throughout Bakersfield, following the passage of Measure N.
Wanted to be sure that the monies collected under the tax were spent in accordance with the promises about how the money would be spent as contained in the ballot issue.
Tandy says starting April 1st of this year, the city of Bakersfield will start collecting money from the new 1-cent sales tax that was approved by voters. He says the sales tax is projected to generate $50 million annually to the city that will go towards promises made within the measure.
5 or 6 of them are police related, 1 is fire related, a couple are homelessness related, and then there's one about beautification of city facilities and promotion of economic development.
Even though there are 13 key areas where spending will be allocated throughout the city, Tandy says extra police funding is one of the main priorities outlined in the measure. And Bakersfield Police Chief Lyle Martin says the police department is already outlining where to put new funding.
And one of the things we've identified are some of our professional staff, where we can hire professional staff and get some of the current officers back on the street. So you're going to see a lot of things that we're looking at versus infrastructure, equipment.
As of now, Tandy says the city of Bakersfield won't start to see funding until around June of this year. But on February 6th, City Council will pick 9 people from the pool of applicants to act as members on the new committee.
So they are to look at the proposed expenditures, to comment or express an opinion on whether they believe that the proposals are in accordance with the promises.
That was the Now's Tori Cooper reporting. Applications are available at the city clerk's office. You must pick it up and return it by January 25th between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. For more information on how you can be part of the new advisory committee, head to our website, turnto23.com. The Kern High School District is requesting reimbursements from the state for each time they have had to close the school due to emergencies. On October 9th, a threat of violence on social media was posted toward Liberty High. Because of the threat, the district says parents kept their students at home the following day. The district receives money toward their budget for every student that attends school, so students not attending school costs the district to lose money. In a similar situation, on September 11th, another threat of a possible shooting was made on social media toward Ridgeview High School. According to the district, parents were notified that night, and because of the threat, they kept their students at home the following day. According to the district's proposal, they're trying to recover more than $24,000 in lost attendance funds. Today, local people keeping healthy and sticking to their fitness goals for 2019 gathered in downtown Bakersfield for a special yoga event. The White Wolf Wellness Foundation held a free yoga in the plaza event at the Rabobank Arena Plaza. The 1-hour session was the first of 3 being held this year. The executive director for the foundation says it's great to have an event that allows people to work out together in a unique outdoor environment.
You know, in yoga, it's a personal practice, and so having the backdrop of not only the noise of the city behind you, but you know the beautiful sound of a fountain and the scenery of our beautiful downtown core, it really speaks to the power of bringing out the community to share in this practice and to support the initiatives that we have moving forward into 2019.
There will be 2 more Yoga in the Plaza sessions, one in February and another in March. For more details, just head to our website, turnto23.com. Kumasi?
We've told you how thousands of federal workers are not getting their usual paycheck. Here's just one example. You were looking at the pay stub of a New Jersey traffic controller with the amount listed under net pay as $0. And this is bringing up another issue so many of us are facing, living paycheck to paycheck. A Bankrate study found this is a reality for 4 out of 5 workers. So an unexpected expense could put you in a tough situation. The Now's Annie Taylor has where you can turn to get help.
They live paycheck to paycheck.
I just bought a house. I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage.
We have officers that are married, so they'll be missing 2 paychecks in their homes.
There are a lot of people right now going, oh my gosh, what if I was just like those government workers who aren't getting paid? I wouldn't be able to pay for my rent, utilities, or maybe even buy groceries. But there are a few places that you can call or even go to actually help you out. One of them being the 211 call center.
You need care for all 3 of the children?
The 211 is a resource that someone can call and will understand what you're going through, that you didn't plan for this.
Christine Bonero, the president and CEO of Mile High United Way, says every call is confidential.
But it's hard to make that first call. It's hard to call and say, I need help, particularly right now when you never saw this coming.
Whether you need help paying for rent, your utility bill, or buying groceries, Christine says 211 will point you in the right direction to get the financial assistance you are looking for.
211 is a wonderful place to begin to sort through of what places you should call so you can get the help you need.
The 211 program is not the only place to turn to for assistance. Benefits.gov is a great place to start. You can search for all types of assistance that the government helps fund. The site explains what the program does, qualifications, and how to apply. Another way to find help is to contact the nonprofit group called the Community Action Agency, also known as CAA. In a crisis, they can offer short-term help with costs like energy bills, housing, even transportation.
This is where we all band together. This is where you literally unite communities together to say, we're going to step up. We're going to be there for you. If we can't do it, we will find an organization that is helping to do it as well.
For the Now, I'm Annie Taylor.
All right, thanks, Annie. Back to our lineup. Getting to the grocery store to buy food for your family, it isn't easy for everybody. Now there's a possible solution to food deserts that includes the rideshare app Lyft. This is a story you'll only see on the Now today. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The president says changes are on the way for H-1B visas. Those are the visas American companies use to hire employees from other countries for certain jobs. The president's proposal would review regulations and make sure visas are given to, quote, the best and brightest. The community is remembering a police officer from Davis, California, killed on the job. The police department says Natalie Corona was shot when she was responding to a crash. The shooter was later found dead. Corona was just 22 years old and had just finished the police academy in July. We talk a lot about the drug crisis because it's front and center for everyone, not just those in addiction. And more businesses and professionals are looking for solutions to save lives. One idea in development right now is a smartphone app that can help detect an overdose and even call for help. It's called Second Chance. Research about it was just published in the journal Science Translational Medicine. A team of computer scientists and physician researchers from the University of Washington developed it. It works by monitoring changes to a person's breathing patterns and alerting a friend or family member, even 911, if the person stops breathing. It was tested at a supervised injection site in Canada, the now visited last year. At that site, overdoses are common and Narcan is given immediately. We talked to one of the app's developers.
You know, a lot of people ask if people would use a system like this. And we say that there's a lot of things that people do who have this medical condition, opioid use disorder, to keep themselves safe. Things like needle exchange, and also in places like Vancouver, British Columbia, people will make an effort to go and use a supervised injection facility.
The next step for the Second Chance app is getting FDA approval.
Transformers fans, just as the new movie hits theaters, Hasbro is bringing a very popular Autobot to Kern County, and you can meet him in person. The 9-foot-tall Transformer Bumblebee has his own film now and is on tour to promote it. He's visiting various Walmarts across the country, and he's visiting several here in the county. Today, he stopped by the Walmart in Delano.
And we're here to just kind of show the love to all the people. This is our 12th state, second country, and our Bumblebee is just like the real Bumblebee, if not even cuter. I think it's pretty cute. They brought back the Volkswagen Bug. They're speaking to all of our 80s children out there, and as you can see, it's a lot of fun.
If you missed your chance to meet Bumblebee today, he will be at the East Hills Walmart in Bakersfield tomorrow from 2 to 4:30, and the new Bumblebee movie is playing right now in theaters everywhere. All right, well, let's take a live look outside of downtown Bakersfield. Much clearer than it was last night. Wow, we can actually see across the sky tonight, Allison.
Yeah, we definitely can. We saw fog overnight last night into the early morning hours today. Then that cleared out and we had just a gorgeous sunset, and temperatures were back to the upper 60s. But now we are tracking strong winds that are coming from the southeast. So gusts already up to 34 miles per hour in the Grapevine, 15 for us here in Bakersfield, and gusts could be reaching up to 55 miles per hour. This evening, strongest winds will be through the I-5 corridor, so there is a wind advisory impacting us here in Bakersfield as well as the Kern County mountains until 4 a.m. on Saturday. So if you are driving south this weekend, make sure that you are driving slow and staying safe on the roads. But thankfully, that does mean another day of good air quality. Tomorrow, we will have an AQI of 50. Today, we were in the moderate range, so we will back to that good range, and there are no restrictions, but birding is discouraged. Now, we are tracking a storm that's going to be making its way into the county overnight into the early morning hours on Saturday. That's going to be bringing some rain chances for us here in Bakersfield. We could receive a few hundredths of an inch, but it looks like Taft is going to be getting the most rain, nearing a half of an inch. But we are tracking snow in the mountains. That snow level will be down to 5,500 feet. So Pine Mountain Club could be seeing some snow flurries as well as up in Alta Sierra and Breckenridge. But by 2:30, 3 o'clock, that storm is going to be pushing off to our east, keeping temperatures in the low 60s tomorrow. So we'll have a high of 62 degrees here in Bakersfield, drying out on Sunday, and then tracking another system making its way into the county on Monday. And we're going to be seeing those rain chances continuing throughout the work week next week, but it looks like we will finally be drying out by next Saturday. The Now Bakersfield will be right back.
new solution.
2 onions. It's about a 20-minute bus ride, and if I didn't want to do that store, I wanted to go elsewhere, it would be even more of a bus ride.
What should be a simple task is a struggle for Latanique Cooper, a mother of 4 living in Washington, D.C.'s southeast side.
And once I get the groceries, I can't carry but so much. It's challenging.
Access to grocery stores near her home are limited, so she's grateful organizations like Martha's Table are able to help.
The Healthy Market program at Martha's Table is our food access program where we ensure that children and families have the opportunity to access fresh, healthy food.
This market is here to assist low-income families, providing fresh foods in what's known as a food desert community.
And essentially that means that neighbors in these communities are cut off and removed from the opportunity to access healthy food by limited resources and grocery availability through traditional grocery stores, farmers markets.
Here there are only 3 grocery stores in close proximity for more than 150,000 residents. Martha's Table marks the 4th. But there's another way this nonprofit is helping others gain food access by teaming up with Lyft.
They were really eager to take their vision around how they could use their assets, their cars, their drivers to solve the food access issue in D.C.
The new pilot program offers 500 families a flat $2.50 rate for rides to and from nearby grocery stores.
3 minutes.
For Cooper, this program has been a blessing for a very personal reason.
My 2 oldest children, when they got their physicals for school, and they came up pre-diabetic. So that was very painful for me, and I knew we had to make some serious changes with the food that I was bringing in.
Not only can she now afford to get to the store, she's able to bring back better food.
Since the program started, I've been to the store multiple times. And I was able to stock up on everything that I needed.
A small but mighty partnership, helping families in a major way in this major city.
If there are other cities and other places that are experiencing the same thing, then it will be great for them to have the program as well.
For the Now, I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
Thanks, Nicole. Checking on some news stories making our news feed. Scientists are warning adults not to reward children for good behavior by allowing them to play more video games or watch TV. An obesity study out of Canada found when screen time is used as a reward, children spend on average 20 more minutes a day in front of a screen. This might inspire us all to exercise just a bit more. The Vatican just got approval to try and qualify for the Olympics. The church has a track team that's made up of employees, including nuns and priests. It's always promoted sports as a way to create dialogue, peace, and solidarity. And on National Milk Day, consider this. 7% of Americans think chocolate milk comes from brown cows. So if you want to celebrate in a charitable way, you can stop by Subway. For every milk served with a kids' meal, they will donate $1 to Feeding America. A gas issue in Mexico may put the brakes on your Super Bowl party, well, at least the guacamole. Gas stations across Mexico have been empty for days, and that's making it kind of difficult to get workers where they need to be to harvest the avocados. Eventually, it could make getting the avocados here to the U.S. an issue as well. The president of Mexico says it's not a gas shortage, but a change in distribution that is making the pumps run dry. Next in our lineup, nutrition labels are getting more prominent on Bud Light, and other beers could be next. A lot of us may not want to think about this when we're enjoying a drink, but could the labels actually make a difference? We'll get into that when the Now continues. They say ignorance is bliss, and for some of us, those are words to live by when we choose our beer. Beer generally doesn't have prominent calorie or nutrition labels, but that will soon change. Bud Light will start putting a new, larger label on its beer next month. So you won't just find out how many calories you're drinking, you'll also know how many carbs, fat, and protein you're consuming. The beer company will also show you what ingredients are in your beer. Now, some other beers like Corona, Guinness, Heineken, and Coors already have some nutrition information on their packaging, but it's not usually very visible. Bud Light says it's trying to be more transparent about what's in its beer. But how much of a difference will this make in our drink choices? After all, we're not drinking beer to get in shape. Researchers say in other cases, people did end up consuming about 6% fewer calories when nutrition facts were available. That could translate to about 50 calories a meal. And it may not sound like much, but if you consistently eat less, you could lose up to 5 pounds over the course of a year. Nutrition labels aren't required on beer, but it looks like more beer brands plan to include labels by 2020. We all know how nice it can be just to go to a museum and check out works of art. But if you're one of millions of Americans suffering with early stage Alzheimer's or dementia, it's more than something that could just pass the time for you. Monday here on The Now, we are going inside one of the many programs around the country using art to spark vivid memories and make living with memory loss a little easier.
Coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 11, CSU Bakersfield students may have a new place to live off campus in the near future. We have details on where and when potential new dorms will be built and what they will feature. Again, that's coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 11. In the meantime, though, we are checking out the weather. Lots of exciting things happening tonight and into the weekend, right, Allison?
Yes, we do have windy conditions ahead of a system that will be bringing rain and snow across the county. So 20-mile-per-hour winds down at the base of the Grapevine right now, 15 here in Bakersfield. There is a wind advisory that is impacting the mountains as well as us here in the valley until 4 a.m. tomorrow. So we could be seeing gusts reaching up to 55 miles per hour. But this storm that we're tracking means good news for Alta Sierra. They are open this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and we're tracking the chance to see some snow flurries in the early morning hours. So if you're planning on heading out Saturday afternoon, that does mean fresh powder. But for us here in Bakersfield, we could be seeing a few hundredths of an inch of rain by the time you are waking up tomorrow morning. Very exciting.
Yep, lots of good weather happening this weekend. That's going to do it for us on The Now Bakersfield. We'll see you back here tonight at 11.